last few years have been difficult. I guess I'll put it that. And I think that it has affected my core. However, I had to yield to my own values and my work ethic to stay balanced in terms of where my focus should be. And I don't want that to just be words for you. And what I mean is I have been challenged in the last several years, probably 3 years at the max, by certain individuals. And I will be really blatant. It came out very racial, and initially it was hurtful because each one of the individuals specifically in the counseling, and this is only in the counseling division, not in the college. Okay. Each individual in the counseling division, every one of them I have hired. So to have individuals know that I invested in them, I saw the good in them in terms of bringing them to the table to serve students and to certainly serve students in the best interest of every student, and then to begin to get challenged because they believed there was some entitlement for a specific group was somewhat troubling. And of course, led to my decision not to run for chair, even though it appeared that it was going to be challenging. But as an end result, it looked like I probably, could have still prevailed, but I don't think we look at it as a win and a prevailing, because my core is that we need to work in the best interest of the student. So I was fine to take this opportunity to write my next chapter myself and not to have the stress, because I think I said in the beginning, the chair position probably in any discipline is a lot of hours. At West, we work 35 hours by contract. However, I never, over the 15, 16 years that I was chair, and even as the director of the TRIO program, never, ever worked the 35, worked far more hours. And by contract, the pay isn't there, and that I don't think you necessarily do the chair position for just the pay. Unfortunately, the contract does not address that in the counseling discipline, you're running an office on a daily basis. It's a little different from running a psychology division or a history division, sociology, where you get your instructors into their classes at the beginning of the semester, and you might occasionally have some students that have some concerns about instructors, or, I think things do probably come up, and maybe they come up daily, but it is not the same at all as running an office. And that's what the chair of counseling is. It's running an office on a daily, an hour basis, on a minute basis, all day long. And it's taking it home with you, and it's doing it on the weekends and in the evenings and on vacation and everything else. And I just got a little tired of it in combination with the other issues that were being, forwarded at that time.
Sure. Okay, I get that. Can I ask, were there any particular settings or times when those challenges or struggles were triggered or were more prominent? For example, staff meetings, advising appointments, committee work. When would you feel kind of like those challenges being triggered the most?
All of them. All of the above. Everything. Everything was being questioned. It was like, a kid saying, why?
Okay.
Well, why do we have to do that? Who says we have to do that? Does the contract say we have to do that? So everything was being questioned.
Gotcha. And how do you view yourself at work? So I just finished asking you how others view you at work, but now I'm asking, how do you view yourself? And when I ask that, I mean, do you view yourself as being on par with your colleagues? Do you see yourself still, even after this many years, aspiring to get to a certain point compared to your colleagues? Do you see yourself as kind of above your colleagues? So how do you view yourself at work?
I would never view myself above. I don't think that there's any elitism in the profession of counseling. I actually think that the strength in the counseling discipline is when you work collectively, because there's so much information that changes on a daily basis that you have to stay abreast of changes and information, which is, again, a little different from other disciplines. If I teach math, and I'm not at all, making a elitist comparison, but I would imagine there's, a lot more structure to specific disciplines than there is of counseling. Counseling is changing daily. Just opened up my email this morning so that I could email you about going to drop the rent-a-car off. And, of course, there's a barrage of emails from I've been doing transfer for fall from, like, some of the Cal states about information, that we need to update students on. And that's very different than, specific disciplines.
Right.
So now I need to get back to what your question was.
No, it's okay. Like how you view yourself.
I would never, ever describe myself as being above other colleagues. I think that our strength is in ensuring that we pass along the information so that we can all be as knowledgeable as possible when we serve our students. I view myself as continually, always learning, always taking in information. Not necessarily do I want to go back to school to get any more degrees, but certainly I have to remain open to receiving information and dialoguing with colleagues so that I can work in the best interest of every student that comes in front of me. And when I do not know, I am rapid at not letting the student go without me going to the source or attempting to go to where the information is, so I can ensure that they walk away perhaps with a little bit more information than what they came with, even if there has to be follow-up.
Gotcha. And what's your perception of your own expertise or your own leadership qualities? I believe that there's always room to grow, and certainly these incidents that I've had over the last couple of years have been learning experiences, and I've taken them at that level to learn from them, and to also reflect on maybe some things that I could have done differently, or where my growth areas are. I believe that I have leadership qualities because I've been recognized for them, and individuals have come to me and asked me to kind of guide them in certain situations. I don't believe that I make them feel that I have any, that my position is over them in the sense of being better than them, but that I have information that could assist them in increasing their knowledge. I got you. Okay. When would you say you feel the most confident at work, or under what situations? Is it when you're teaching, when you're advising, when you're leading a meeting, in committee or governance work? When do you feel the most confident or successful?
When I'm with students.
Yeah.
And I'm able to, when I'm able to build a path where they can see their success, or their end goal, or their short-term goals being met, or their long-term goals being met, showing them a path that can guide them to completing their degree. If that's what their goal is, degree, certificate, transferring, sitting down and helping map